We know the joy of giving is its own reward. But who says you can't get something for yourself, too? Now when you buy vanilla MasterCard gift cards, you can enter to win one of over 10 prizes every week for 10 weeks, including a grand prize of $10,000 in vanilla gift cards. So get gifting and start sharing the delight for more chances to win. Go to get-gifting.com to learn more and enter for your chance to win. Cards are issued by the Bancorp Bank and MetaBank, members FDIC, pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated, and may be used in the U.S. everywhere debit MasterCard is accepted. Terms and conditions apply. Cards distributed and serviced by Income Financial Services, Inc., which is licensed as a money transmitter by the New York State Department of Financial Services, and MLS ID number 912772.
Welcome to Dare a New Belief, a place to discover what is possible for your life after the loss of a loved one, and where you will find inspiration, insight, support, and love, and hopefully a bit of laughter to help you through your day. Now, here's your host, Nada Hogan.
Welcome to Dare a New Belief, where you will find light and life, love and joy, healing, faith, and hope. A place where you get to believe what is possible for your life. Today, I have the great honor to bring on to the show Pernille Halbro. Pernille is the owner and founder of Pernille Halbro, LLC. She is a certified transformational life coach specializing in dream building and life mastery. She is also certified as a EFT practitioner, otherwise known as tapping, and she is a Reiki Master. Pernille began her journey as a healer at a very young age while noticing that she was an intuitive empath. And in her early 40s, she realized her purpose always has been helping and supporting others, and she became a certified life mastery coach with Mary Morrissey and LifeSOULutions. She uses tapping and Reiki to teach the body how to restore its natural balance of energy. And she is passionate about empowering women going through challenging transitions, feeling confident, motivated, and alive through a vision-inspired life that they love living. Oh, I love that. And Pernille, welcome. You are a beautiful human being. I'm so grateful to have you on the show with me.
Thank you, Nada. I'm so grateful to be here with you. I've so been looking forward to it.
Me too, so much so. So just so the listeners know, Pernille, I met you because I am also a life mastery consultant, life mastery consultant and a dream builder coach, and that's where we met. And I took an instant loving to you because you just are one of those people who emit a very special energy. And I just always enjoyed being around you and being around your just your beautiful personality and your beautiful soul self. And recently I have been out of the meetings for a while, the get-togethers in person, and so I haven't seen you for a while, but through Facebook and social media, I discovered that you were diagnosed with breast cancer. And it floored me when I found that out. And so that is what I would love to talk about with you today, and share with the listeners your journey through cancer. And are you comfortable with that? Does that feel like it's a good path for us?
Absolutely. I mean, I can say the same thing about you. I always felt like when we first met in LA, I believe that there was an instant connection, and you are a warrior and healer woman yourself. So I guess it takes one to know one.
I love that. Thank you. Yeah, there was absolutely an instant connection, and I totally love that. So yeah, divine guidance and divine timing for sure. So,
absolutely.
So Pernille, yeah. So So the first question that I want to ask you is, how did you discover that something was off in your body? I already said that it was breast cancer, but how did you discover that something was off in your body?
I would say I was going through a stressful time, and I started feeling a lot of anxiety, insomnia. I wasn't sleeping well, and just like a buzzing in my body. Like it wasn't resting. It wasn't rejuvenating the way it normally would. So I started feeling like I was a little off, started having some tics in my eye, and I was like, oh, that seems a little like there's stress going on. So those were the first signs that I started experiencing in my body.
Okay. Yeah. So then how long did it take for you to discover that that the breast cancer was detected?
It didn't take that long, really. I tried before when I have when I get very, very stressed, I often feel a burning up in my left armpit from my breast, and I had kind of that sensation again where I was like, that does not feel right. But before I had it checked out, it was fine. But I decided to schedule a mammogram and ultrasound just in case. And that's when, before I did that, I started feeling the lump. And that was in June. And then it was diagnosed on July 3rd.
Okay. So you felt the lump before you actually had gone into to have the mammogram?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt it, and I was sitting in my living room, and kind of like that burning sensation was irritating because it goes more towards your armpit. And then I self-examined it a little bit, just, making sure everything was okay. And then I felt something, and I was like, what is that? And then I felt like it's a lump. It's like a little ball. And I'm like, okay, that I haven't felt before. And I do self-exams on a regular basis, but and I even had a thermography done in March, which was clear. So I thought, well, I better have it checked out. So I scheduled for a mammogram, and I felt pretty calm, but I knew it wasn't okay. You're not supposed to feel a lump. So, and then I scheduled it, and I went for the mammogram and the ultrasound, and that was an experience because the guy that was coming in after I had the mammogram done and my ultrasound, they obviously could see something, and he came in and wanted to double check and tell me kind of what they were looking at. However, I didn't expect him to diagnose me right on the spot, and his energies in the room were not really good. He seemed fishing for things and was just not showing a lot of compassion, I would say. So I was diagnosed. He said it looks like carcinoma, which is cancer. And we went outside to talk more. And he seemed more interested in treatment I had done with CBD than actually giving me the run-ups of what to expect moving forward. But obviously I needed a biopsy to know what we were looking at. So I had to guide him back to the conversation of what are the next steps here. So he even jumped to the conclusion that I needed chemotherapy and radiation. I would need the whole package by what he saw, again, without being thoroughly diagnosed through a biopsy. So I actually got really pissed. I thought it was not the right way to do it. And because I'm in the health field myself, I know that you don't throw a diagnosis at someone without having the scientific proof of it also.
Right.
So I left thinking, what the heck is this? Being really mad. because I'm like, I have always lived healthy. I eat healthy. I exercise, take supplements. I felt like I always took care of myself. I knew that after my divorce, I haven't been sleeping as well as I could. That was 3 years prior. So I knew my body was telling me things because I wasn't sleeping well. And I started having food intolerances. So there were a few pointers that things were not balanced in my body. But it really, I got to say, when I walked out of there, I was mad. I was really, really mad. So took a deep breath and said, okay, well, we still don't know what it is. He says one thing, but who knows? And then I decided I didn't want to work with him because of his energy. I didn't feel comfortable with him. I didn't feel like he was an optimist. So I called back and scheduled with a woman that they recommended, which turned out to be absolutely wonderful. Very sweet, very caring, compassionate with that I was not crazy about what she had to do. But of course, I did it. And that was a good choice that I chose to do that over.
Yeah. You know, and as you tell this story, Pernille, it just comes to me. So this, you and I have talked about this before, because I have to tell you, you are the closest person to me that has ever gone through breast cancer. And as we were talking about it, it was almost as if I was sitting right next to you, walking this journey with you. And I just cannot imagine how hard it is, number one, just to detect that you have found a lump in your breast, just the initial shock of that. And it sounds like you handled all of that well, but there has to just be this thing that's just like, oh my God, right? Oh my God, it just has to knock you for a loop. But then to have the doctor come in and not even have a conversation with you, it's just mind-boggling that somebody would do that. And I know that you're holding back because pissed is probably very mild. I have a feeling there would be a lot of whatever those swear, what do you call it? Those swear words.
There was a lot of anger.
Yeah.
Related to it.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I really felt like it was unprofessional what he did.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't imagine any woman going through what I did, not having the tools I had. Because I know, I already studied cancer. I worked with cancer patients at my local hospital for 3 years. I know what it looks like. Not inside the body, but I know what people look like when they're going through the journey and when they have traumas around it and feeling they have to trust the doctors and the hospital, everything they say, and just do what they say. Well, I'm like, not always. No. At that point, I did not want to, because I was holistic. I was all green, doing all, my Reiki and eating healthy and believe that food is our medicine and, but it still got me.
Yeah.
And that was the part I was pissed about. But also his ignorance of me as a human being, that I am sensitive. I have emotions, and what you say can affect me.
Right.
But I'm very grateful for having a warrior inside that says, you know what? Let's just question what he's saying, and let's just park the fear for now, and you can get pissed instead.
Yeah.
And then let's see what happens.
Yes. Yeah.
I guess it's a self-defense mechanism also.
Yeah. And I love the part where you say there's a warrior in me. There was a warrior in me, and she spoke. Did you know before you had this, I don't even want to call it a conversation, before you had this episode with the doctor, did you know that you had that warrior self inside of you, or is that one of the first times that you really got to feel her rise up and really tap into that powerful inner strength?
I have felt her before. I feel her when I do get challenged. And I always come out on the other side. Yeah. So I know, I always known I have a fighter, and probably because of my life journey, that she will show up here and there. But I would never have people tell me what can happen and what can't.
Right.
So that's something that I've had always. I hate being told what to do. Yeah. Especially if it doesn't feel right.
Absolutely, yes. And how many people, either they're not in touch with how they feel, so they don't even know if it feels right or doesn't feel right. They just kind of go with whatever is being told of them, whether it's a parent, a boss, a coworker, a doctor, and they don't even question it. They just go with that information because they don't want to ruffle feathers, or I can't even identify how I feel. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, so I'm just going to do what somebody just told me to do. I wonder, now this is completely off course from the direction that I wanted to go, and that's usually how it happens for me. But when you said this, that you knew that there was this warrior inside of you, and you knew it because of your life journey, from your life path to that present moment. Do you think, I mean, this is just your philosophical belief, do you think that all of the things that happened in your life, you know, whether we would say that this was a, in air quotes, good thing or bad thing, that led you to that moment to be able to really tap into, either like, I'm being challenged here, I don't like being told what to do, and there was just this backlog of that built this warrior woman in you, that you were able to say to this, because for some people, standing up to the medical profession is authority, and they won't question it. They will just say, okay, that I'll do what you tell me to do. And even though they're sitting there in that room shrinking when they're fishing for answers on CBD and what happened with that, and not even addressing this life-changing diagnosis that was given in absolutely the most most horrible way ever given. The words I want to use are just not coming to my mind. So do you think that everything that happened through the past that got you to that moment, that all of that was such a beautiful blessing, even though it never felt like a blessing as we're going through it?
I think it had prepared me for it.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like the journey beforehand had prepared me for where I was, or where I was going. Learning the coaching tools I learned with Mary Morrissey, which I learned 3 years before, up to my journey, and just challenges in life. They've all been teachers for me. And I'm grateful today. I'm very grateful for all the teachings, because they brought me through what could have been an a really bad experience. Exactly. Thank you. The Danish part of me here. No, it's, I think, you know, it's been amazing to have this toolbox with me to go through this journey, because it could really have been a bad journey, which a lot of people consider it being. But for me, there were so many blessings in it. So many blessings. I was sent home to my family in Denmark, where I lived in the States for 22 years at the time. And I was sent home, which is my other home, in Denmark for 9 months for treatment. I thought I was going to go for 3 months, to be honest. I thought I was just going to go over, get operated, and back home to my kids over here and my dog, but and boyfriend. But that was not the case. And but the journey in Denmark and being part of that system has just been amazing. But I can tell you for a long time about that.
Yes. And we're going to dive into that, to how it was that you ended up in Denmark, and the journey that took place over there, this journey through cancer that took place over there. So when you connected with the other doctor, you decided, I'm not going to work with this man who had so abruptly spewed out information, and you chose this other woman. How did you find this other woman? And at that point, was there a part of you that is just now almost protecting yourself? Because my first experience, I'm speaking as you, like, so your first experience with this was so abrasive, and now I have to make another phone call and go and be with another person. Was there a part of you that was nervous that was going to happen again, or, oh my God, like almost feeling not a victim, but maybe behind the eight ball? Or was that warrior still up, going like, you got it now, like nobody's going to do that to me again? And it allowed you to stand more in your power.
There was a part of me that was unsure, and yet I have worked so much on trusting and believing the last 4 years that I leaned into there can only be one better than him. And I was trusting that the universe would send me the person that would need to do it on me, that I would be okay with. So I called the place up, Advanced Radiology, up, and I told them a short story about what happened, and that I was looking for another person that would have more compassion with the patient or be more empathic. And they recommended her. Unfortunately, right now I don't remember her name, but she was a sweetheart, and she was the way I envisioned her: kind, thoughtful, explained everything she did, and all the time was talking to me and making sure that I was comfortable. And I was very grateful for her being sent my way. And she turned out also to be a person that I could call back later on once I got the results, that were able to explain the results to me the way I could understand it in detail. Because my OB-GYN couldn't explain the details because he wasn't sitting with everything in front of him, but he could just diagnose or relay the diagnosis to me that I had triple negative breast cancer. So I called her up and said, can you help me? I need to know more of the details of the biopsy. And she went over and beyond to help me and sat down and explained it. So very grateful, very grateful.
Yeah.
But it's about trusting, I think, the journey when you're being put on the spot, if you will, like with breast cancer. It's about choosing, knowing you have a choice also who you work with. If you don't have good energies with one person, it's okay to choose another one. It's a choice that we have. Many people don't know that, or they're too scared or too frozen by the diagnosis. They don't know what to do, that they just go with who's there.
Absolutely. Which leads me to the question of, I never even thought about that before. Were you by yourself when you got the news, or did somebody come with you?
I had a girlfriend that was waiting outside. So at Advanced Radiology, you're not allowed to bring a person in to either room. Okay. So I got the message by myself. But I was okay. I was okay with it. Yeah. Pernille,
there are so many other things that I want to talk to you about and ask you about. And so we're going to start taking this in for a soft landing, because I've got about 100 other questions that I want to ask you about your journey and your journey into Denmark, and what treatment options you chose and how it is you even ended up in Denmark. And I'm wondering, because we're going to run out of time on this show, I'm wondering if you would be willing to come back next week and continue this conversation with me so we can understand the rest of your journey. I think I need to have you on the show for about, 2 weeks straight, because there is so much in this, and I know we are just barely touching the surface. But if you would be willing to come back next week, I would love to dive deeper into this journey with you. How do you feel about that?
I would love to come back. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The more people we can help, the merrier. And I love to be here to support you too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pernille. So that's what we're going to do, listeners. We're going to wrap up this call. We're going to come back next week, and we're going to dive in deeper with Pernille on this journey and find out blessings and gifts and struggles and challenges and everything that happened and where Pernille is at now. So please be sure to come back next week to hear part 2. And I want to thank you so much, Pernille, for being with me today. It's such a blessing. And we will be back next week to continue on with this. So for right now, if you want to say goodbye to the listeners, and on the next one, you know what? Pernille, how do they contact you? How are the listeners able to get in contact with you if they want to work with you? Because you are a life mastery consultant and you are a dream builder coach. What's the best way to get with you?
Well, thank you. They can reach me through info@PernilleHalbro.com. My name is spelled Pernille, Halbro, HALBRO.com. So it's info@PernilleHalbro.com. And it's been such a pleasure being here. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. I am truly grateful. And listeners, please do not worry if you did not get Pernille's information, because it will be in the show notes and you will be able to contact her. Absolutely no problem. So thank you all so much for being here. Again, thank you, Pernille, for being here. And listeners, have a beautiful rest of your week. And be sure you join in on our next conversation, because you will be very pleasantly surprised. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for spending time with us today. Please go to nadahogan.com for show notes and other information you can use right away. If you like what you heard here, please subscribe to our show, and don't forget to rate and review right there on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you get your shows. And don't forget to tell your friends about it. We'll see you next week.
The Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
The moon, yeah. That's Hugo, tickling the ivories. He just saved by bundling home and auto with Progressive. Gonna finally buy a ring for that gal of yours, Hugo? Send her my condolences. Hi-oh! This next one's for you, too. There's a burglar in my heart. Thank you.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
We know the joy of giving is its own reward. But who says you can't get something for yourself, too? Now when you buy vanilla MasterCard gift cards, you can enter to win one of over 10 prizes every week for 10 weeks, including a grand prize of $10,000 in vanilla gift cards. So get gifting and start sharing the delight for more chances to win. Go to get-gifting.com to learn more and enter for your chance to win. Cards are issued by the Bancorp Bank and MetaBank, members FDIC, pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated, and may be used in the U.S. everywhere debit MasterCard is accepted. Terms and conditions apply. Cards distributed and serviced by Income Financial Services, Inc., which is licensed as a money transmitter by the New York State Department of Financial Services, and MLS ID number 912772.